Zhongfei. And now it's kind of like, well, where do we go from here? Do we go and go for a Diadea draft of some sort? I think it's all down to Blacklist here to see what they go for.
Like the moats as well. He's a maestro on that one. The Dolia as well has had a lot of success, but the Dolia is the type where you need a draft around it, right? So it looks like the other a special and like the Yangxian and like kind of comboing it with it. So if they have one, obviously that's something that they can kind of pull out, but it looks like they're going to save it. But now is the perfect time. I mean, it's game 5.
I mean, the Chicha being taken off here is probably the best thing that can get Chemi into the clash lane. But did they take away the Byron this time? I mean, if they do take away the Byron, oh no, they're going to take away the Martial Genius. They're taking away the Mai Yin here. So if they give over the Byron to the side of Black, used it, do they then lock something like the Lu Bang down into the support role and then give over the Lam to Just Chi? Now that we don't obviously have the Agudo, they're looking a little bit less blessed in the counter department for the.
I'm not a huge fan of the Liu Bang. I just think overall it has. I mean, if you have like a high flying assassin style that needs the secondary jump, makes sense. But I just don't really like it overall. I think that it needs to be like a really specialty in terms of like the draft composition. You to really set things up. This could be annoying, especially if it gets to the back line.
Oh, I mean, speaking of annoying, this is an annoyance in my rank games. The Mecha Brat, Mr. Lushan. I mean, oh, okay. I mean, we do, obviously this one flies under the radar when you think of tanks into the support role. Is you don't normally think of Lushan being that pick, but his disruption ability with his skills, but also, again, just the split push potential that we've been seeing pretty much for the entire of this series. We do get Golden Kite onto his Lung as well. So once again, Blacklist taking the red side just to lock in that farm lane duo.
So this Liu Shan is all about the Bigatron's Ormson, like back at KIC, where it completely was a tower disruptor in every single lane because they had such a hard time to deal with. It is super annoying, even ranked games, of course. But on the pro level, with these guys piloting it, especially like a player like Chaz, it's going to be annoying to deal with. And Kagendra understanding that, they're going to go with the Ogren of Lady Jeanne to kind of create some of those pillars that will make it very difficult for this Mecha Brat to really get on top of those towers.
From the side of, I believe it was maybe even BTR, I think it was just absolutely laying waste to the tanks of one of the teams, right? Like they landed that combo, which absolutely melted Ogren. So seeing this come through, I feel like it's going to be a bit of a problem here for Kagendra, because you know for a fact if Dragon can find those prime bushes and get that combo through, there is going to be no Ogren. There's going to be no soul guide. There's going to be no soul onto the side of Kagendra.
That is so static, right? If you see Soleil like rocking around, going for that proper angle from the back, and he's stuck with the Blazing Brilliant, I mean, he's going to be pretty predictable in terms of where he's going to be, right? But you need to be a bit careful. And that could be the to stand still and just kind of unload on people. But now it looks like they're going to go with the Featherfoot, the Fade, and Joshi. He says, "I'm angry. Let me carry this game and this series to a victory."
Ooh, the Woodland Ranger coming through to be potentially the counter here for the Lung, obviously using that those protective winds to cancel out any of that physical damage coming through from the Flaming Palms here. Could be potential upset for that 1v1 potential down to the bot side of the map, and obviously thanks to Woodland Ranger's first skill, kind of outranges and pokes the Lung and does a lot of damage in the early game as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Kagendra's Zion can actually pilot this one to perfection. And it looks like Blacklist International are taking a little bit of a leaf out of Nova Esports. Look, they're going for the White Anchor, they're going for Arta into the clash lane. So double tank, they push forward and just soak in a lot of that damage and then just lay waste with the likes of the Scorchet, or even if Just T can be successful with the Featherfoot and steal away these neutral objectives.
I love it how the meta is evolving. I mean, you were talking about the fact that this is, you know, straight out of Nova, but now Chammy one piloting the Ata, it makes a lot of sense here, especially when you see the War Saint that wants to go for the black line. If you're able to ghost ship him away and then kind of create that barrier or, you know, isolate him from the rest of the team where he wants to raise your cavalry, your entire lineup into the hearts of the Kagendra lineup, I mean, it's going to have a tough time, right? So this is a great counter pick. They were looking for this one for the last pick.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw horses on a boat was on Noah's Ark, right? So maybe this time around, it's not going to be to bring him to safety, but to shipwreck the War Saint on his horse and completely put him in his tracks. But BLACKLIST actually reaching into the hero pool here to bring in something a little bit more spicier and obviously like a little bit of a love letter to Nova Esports, like you were saying there, and also a love letter to Ormson from the side of BTR and the KIC 2025. So let's see if they can pilot this one to victory, but I feel like there could be potential upset here as well. Because I mean, if you look at Kagendra's draft, it's not like oh, this is a little bit of a weird one. You've got obviously a huge pick into the top side of the map here. Guan Yu looking to kind of get the access onto the back line of BLACKLIST International. You've got the Soul Guy, you've got Cascada as well. So plenty. More importantly, they'll get to tank into the support role. So there's still an impressive Earthshaker that can come through here for Kagendra.
If we're looking at these lineups, I mean, the Kagendra one right there, it's looking very strong, right? They're loaded for bear. They want to go. Obviously, they have to win or else they're eliminated. On the other end, I mean, a little unconventional, right? The Ata, we haven't seen Chammy 1 on it. The Liu Shan hasn't seen this with the Chaz as well. So these are two heroes that they're kind of playing. Dare I say they might be playing on the weaker end, understanding that the next game is going to be the end-all be-all for the series. But BLACKLIST can still pull this off with this lineup.
I just thought of a good synergy as well here, obviously with the Lushan and the Scorchet here. So Mecha Brat and Scorchet, obviously you use that first skill to obviously go in with a bit of increased movement speed and obviously get that knock up. And as soon as you get that knock up, if you can land that combo from Scorchet, it's going to make it a lot easier for Dragon on the side of BLACKLIST to actually land that combo successfully and run down these tanks or even some of these squishier heroes.
Yeah, you're going to have a tough time. And then plus you have the Ata with that ghost shift. Where are they going to go? If you're able to just block off Kagendra from retreating, and then you have the Blazing Brilliance with the Chaos Cinder on top of that, that's like an insta-win in terms of this team fight, right?
Yes, a lot of burst damage coming through, and if you don't realize too early, it's a little bit too late, and you're back to the crystal, waiting to respawn and help your teammates, which could be, obviously, it is a massive issue if you are Kagendra, and you're looking to stay in this best of 7, whereas BLACKLIST, they can kind of almost kick their legs up ever so slightly, knowing that if they play this one well, it's a done deal, you know?
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, going with this draft, the BLACKLIST one definitely has a lot of play. I mean, you can never really count out Joshi when he's playing like an assassin-style jungler. The Fade is definitely one of those type moments where when they get to that late game, he could go for all of the big steals, could be super annoying to deal with.
Oh, massively. If just she can pilot it like Faye Shirt did, then it's guaranteed kind of like a guaranteed annoyance here for the side of Kagendra, but I feel like Chaz could also be a massive annoyance here as well, having forced a flash out.
Yeah, he actually flashed. He's gonna stay alive though, but that was a pretty big commitment by Kagendra because they were looking, they were fishing. They were waiting patiently in the wings, but it looks like Chaz just too tanky, and the rest of BLACKLIST were there to kind of just help out and support his brother.
Supporting exactly what he needs, right? Obviously, you don't want to kind of leave him lay waste, especially as we sort of get into the crucial parts of this early game of Honor of Kings here. Like, they want to make sure that Chaz is alive. That means that Golden Kite can stay alive, but he has Infinite Bastards as well. So he still has that little bit of a safety net. But oh my goodness, the Oak Bolt from Woodland Ranger, man. It just hurts so much.
It hurts so much. And Lou looking for round 2, and Golden Kite with the push away. Chaz finally joins up. The tower is getting some shots in as well, and he's going to have to plant the flag just to stay alive and keep on being that tanky boy that he is.
I have to give props over to Golden Kite, right? You can see what the pressure was there. Oh my gosh. Oh, run down. First blood. That's what I'm talking about. Scorch with that combo is huge. Soul Guide is pretty much just like a tour guide at that right.
I mean, but he got it on Fei Shi of all things. Like, that was like the perfect play by Dragon. And then just slow down Ogren. That's your win condition. And, you know, again, further accelerating Joshi's farm. And that was just a big, huge win early for BLACKLIST already.
Oh, massive. Taking that off of the Gorge for a few seconds, especially as the lead up to the Tyrant and the Overlord in about 20 seconds, is definitely going to be a bit of a blunder here for the side of KAGENDRA, but you can't imagine that Faysure is going to catch it more than once with that play, right? So got to be careful that they've used it now. And there it is. The Blazing Brilliance just to kind of be used to clear out the minion wave to gain priority back into this mid lane.
Yeah, if anything, you know that KAGENDRA are going to really not like Hello Kitty by the end of this game. That's going to be super annoying to grow this game as well. But now it looks like the Tyrant is going to be looking to be taken away. They actually get the pick off, but the Tyrant has been going the way of KAGENDRA. Nice two-man stun by Lou, and here comes the reinforcements. They want to go for this one, especially with Soleil prowling around on the wings. Nice little burst ram, but here comes Chammy1 looking to turn this around onto Soleil. He gets knocked up. The Blazing Brilliance, just not enough damage. Soleil wheelies on his way out.
Man, even with the Hardened Jade Steel, I said it to KAGENDRA, so it's only fair that I say it's a Blacklist International. That Hardened Jade Steel is looking like soft toffee here for the side of Blacklist International, right? Like, the fact is that you lost that neutral objective when you had that bad boy in your back pocket. That's, you need to work on your time in there.
Yeah. And, I mean, unfortunate. Not really the right play. Obviously, Justy, you should never be giving those things up, ever, right? I think that's the beauty. You smite, you seal, you got to time it properly. And just a little bit of a misplay there. And KAGENDRA makes him pay, but Faysure does go down yet again. Still one of the tops in terms of net worth with his 3.7, but he's died twice already.
Died twice, but still top of the leaderboard here in terms of gold. I feel like that's a really good kind of like a nod to Faysure and his ability to be a solid jungler here with an Honor of Kings. But there it is, Lou getting burst down. But I mean, that's the kind of person you want to kind of take those hits to the face, right? Is Lou on this Liampo. He's going to survive it.
Will survive, and that's the problem, right? I mean, if you're gonna just kind of deal with this. I mean, this lineup from KAGENDRA, like, Senku is on. Definitely, you have your targets. Definitely the weaker of the bunch. But the other guys kind of annoying because they're very tanky. They're going to be those frontliners. And to just be able to Chaos Enter Blazing Brilliance, you really want the squishy one so that you can just rack up those kills early.
Oh, yeah. Get the kills early, get that gold lead going into your favor, because right now, obviously, it's just a neutralized gold lead between these two teams. Getting a bit of that freeze of the minion wave means that T1 down to the bot side of the map may be traded here for that T1 top side for Blacklist International. But I feel like KAGENDRA is starting this game very strong. They're definitely playing sort of the same kind of game they did in game number 1.
Red team has
and it's close. The net worth is a bit of a wash, but you're seeing just how KAGENDRA understanding that, hey, we are even, but we can be aggressive. They find Chaz. He flashes away. He's going to try to spin, but Faysure seer states him. Get that execution. Now, what can Chammy1 do? He tries to go onto Soleil, gets the little pull back on, and it looks like they're going to be happy with the buff as well as the kill onto Chaz.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for the side of Blacklist. Obviously, Chaz did try and flash out and stay alive, but it's going to be that seared state that just gets that execution, which is very annoying for obviously the players that think they're going to get away out of that one scot-free, and then just that's it. The execution comes free, and you're like, oh, gosh, man, like I thought I got away, but no, it's the pesky Orgrid execute mechanic there that really came through here for KAGENDRA.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh man, my body is so big, like I'm in this giant machine, like I'm struggling, like Liu Shan is like, maybe if I was a skinnier, smaller roamer, I wouldn't have been able to be picked off. I mean, it's all wishful thinking at this point as he does go down, but Chaz trying to make some plays, you gotta be aggressive, especially if you're Liu Shan.
You got to be aggressive. Obviously, you got to take the hits. You got to roll with the punches per se. Because obviously, he is the tankiest person as well as obviously Chammy1 on the Blacklist team here. But if you get caught out a little bit too early, it just means that there's a lot more pressure onto the back of Chammy.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen Chammy1 just kind of get the perfect go ship. He's used them very defensively thus far. This hero can be very tanky, the Ata that is, but it just seems like they haven't really been able to find the right angle for that. And so Blacklist, again, playing a more defensive style, KAGENDRA are, again, being very aggressive, and they're looking to invade this Azure Golem again. And now they decide to go. The Jade Seal, that will secure that one. Chaz is at half, needs to be a bit careful. Blacklist still sticking around. They actually find Chammy1, who's a little bit tanky enough, and he will just barely survive. He is very low, but he's going to be fine.
Gonna be fine, and it means that KAGENDRA is able to kind of just take this Tyrant scot-free as well, completely uncontested, but into the enemy jungle. It's gonna be just Chi. Make sure he doesn't get caught out here. He's able to steal away the Azure Golem away from the Soul Guide that is gonna be Fei Shi. But is that going to be enough to kind of put a stop to the side of KAGENDRA for now? I mean, they are now slowly starting to surmise about a 1k gold lead for themselves, which is a good position for them to be in.
But the biggest thing is that Joshi, he's only died once, right? He's farming decently. It's all about the late game, but they get the nice little Blazing Brilliance. The flash away will keep Lu alive, and it looks like that will be the end of things. But without Joshi dying countless times, I mean, he's still finding farm in that top lane. BLACKLIST still have a chance because it's all on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just looking like this could once again go either way, right? Obviously, KAGENDRA are playing this one very well in terms of turrets, in terms of neutral objectives as well. They're definitely playing BLACKLIST at their own game here, but they're not kind of allowing them to have that solid team fight that we saw in game number 1 and game number 2. Like, they are struggling to try and formulate that huge game that they had in those first 2.
And this is why KAGENDRA has really leveled up. I mean, you're seeing most times, I mean, just looking at the history, where KAGENDRA starts losing, they really falter. They lose a lot of confidence. They lose that swagger. But KAGENDRA on this one, they're like, hey, we're down 0-3. We have nothing to lose. Let's play to our heart's content. And they're doing such a good job of just, again, taking it to BLACKLIST. And now you're looking at the series, and you're thinking, oh, wow, BLACKLIST are actually in the lead, but they might actually lose another one here.
Yeah, but it's the reality I was painting for the guys at home, though, like pretty much like 2 series ago. But now it looks like it's coming into fruition here. But it looks like maybe we try and steal both of these objectives, but there's no smite here onto the Tyrant. So it looks like that the priority is definitely going to be onto the Overlord here for the side of BLACKLIST International. And I think rightly so, because obviously the way that they have lack of monopoly right now is definitely a scary thing here. Obviously, KAGENDRA have opened up both of those side lanes, so there's a little bit more room for potential ganks into the own jungle of BLACKLIST International.
BLACKLIST International doing a good job. I think the Shadow Overlord on that one is going to really help them out. The map control has been a problem. They're playing basically hiding under their towers. They need to put more pressure on, hopefully opening up the map even more. I mean, yes, KAGENDRA have a decent amount in terms of that wave clear. These Vanguards are not great, but still, it's going to be a little bit more push, which you need because, again, KAGENDRA have been just putting so much pressure on.
A lot of pressure onto the side of BLACKLIST, honestly. Like, they have definitely proved themselves worthy of this one, but the blessing of the Direct is just executed here, but no.
Oh, nice little Razor Cavalry. They actually find Chaz. It looks like they're going to get the kill onto him. The Seer State is going to do some work, and now they will be backing off. Can they get anything else? It looks like Golden Kite, it takes a decent amount, but that's going to be pretty much the end of it. They take down Chaz yet again.
I think everybody on the side of BLACKLIST default, Chaz is probably the most expendable one in terms of obviously the pick that they've gone for here with the Mecha Brat, right? Like obviously they don't have they're not walking from a front step, right? They are playing from behind, and when you got a Mecha Brat playing from behind and you don't have any priority in these lanes, it's really hard to navigate and pilot this hero.
It's tough. It's tough. And I mean, Chaz has been caught out. Like, you don't really have the mobility like a Burst Ram or some sort of Leaping Savior to kind of get back. You're just kind of running it. Now the Blazing Brilliance, not enough. Lu has to expend the flash, though. He will stay alive. Good attempt by BLACKLIST. You expended some of those common skills, and now what can they turn? Nice little go ship. They actually find Senku. He goes golden, though, but now the Tremor Smash in return. Lu somehow survives, and he will just be backing off, and they completely dodged everything that BLACKLIST threw at them, and they stayed alive.
Yeah, man, Lu literally getting there with a miracle, man. Like, he was, like, getting burst down, but I feel like this is probably the potential of BLACKLIST getting into the latter part of the game, right? Obviously, you saw the damage that Golden Kite was doing in that last team fight. I feel like that's maybe what they're riding on here. Chaz is going to obviously get some intel onto Sule here, making sure that he's not going to sort of be the prime victim for just Chi's takedown. But now, again, we're seeing that team fight sort of formulate. Maybe they're getting a bit of a second wind here for BLACKLIST.
Maybe if they're able to just find the right approach, but like with the way Lu is just kind of up in front, he is not the real target. But now Chammy1 deciding to potentially go, they're not able to find any sort of catch. There's just too many guys that are annoying to deal with. Fei Shi is very tanky as well, so those are really not the targets that BLACKLIST is looking for.
No, I'm not looking for them just yet. Obviously, there's still plenty to be played for here into this team fight. One wrong move, especially when you got something like Lu on the Liam Poe, right? Obviously, you think you could go in. The big disruptor, that's going to be that the ultimate, the Trevor Smash here from the side of Gendra could really kind of like basically put a blunder here, but making a blunder, it's going to be just Chi maybe getting caught out. He is able to parkour over the wall, so he needs to be a little bit more safer.
Yeah, definitely safer. I mean, he's hit that mark. He's at 10.8 right now. This is a guy that's got all the space and time. BLACKLIST have done everything to ensure that Joshi has a good game. This is the moment he needs to shine. His target prioritization, he needs to find Senku. He needs to find Zan. These are the main targets here. But now they find Lu, who eats a flaming palm. He's going to be backing off. Champion 1 needs to be careful. He uses the ghost ship, but he gets focused, and he does end up getting killed. Feishi finding him out. BLACKLIST International are looking to just walk away. The Blazing Brilliance in return. They're not able to find anything, and here comes Joshi. I think they still want to fight 4 versus 5. This might not be the greatest choice.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, they're doing a lot of damage. It's not only just Zan doing so much damage as well as Senko, it's also Fei-Shi. He's putting on the pain game here for the side of BLACKLIST International. Like, not only is it the damage, but there's the execute coming through, the seer state. That's just kind of really oppressive here for BLACKLIST.
Red team.
Yeah, it felt like once Champion 1 went down, there's really no reason to continue fighting. I mean, it's a numbers game.
No.
If you're outnumbered, you really shouldn't be fighting. And BLACKLIST, they stuck around. I felt like that was the time to kind of go for space, push elsewhere, and just kind of take advantage, because you're really not going to contest. But they, again, stuck around a little too long for me.
Exactly. Too close for comfort there for the side of BLACKLIST, and there again we just saw Lu take away the Crimson Golem away from Just Chi. That's not what you want to be seeing. That's a big taunt from the side of KAGENDRA. So now I feel like they're just trying to get in the heads of BLACKLIST International, because they're slowly formulating that gold lead and holding on to it, and they're just always taking away these like minor camps like the Azure Golem, like the Crimson.
Yeah, it seems like the after effects of just being like, oh, why didn't we close out the game last game, you know? And you're kind of starting to feel the after effects of this, where BLACKLIST are like, okay, wow, we're in a bad spot. This is when 10 teams truly get tested. KAGENDRA have done a great job of getting themselves back into the series, and they have a great opportunity in this one.
They do have a great opportunity. They can still obviously come back in this one here as well, but I mean, KAGENDRA definitely looking like the favorite within this one. It's going to take a huge upset to kind of curtail KAGENDRA's progress in this game number 5, which you don't be if you BLACKLIST.
He's in a bad spot. The Blazing Brilliance is enough with that ghost ship. He's like, where are you going to go? They lock him in, and now Saleh is on the run. Golden Kite tried to infinite fastness. Oh no, it looks like he's just going to continue on
T2
forward.
in the mid
They
lane.
want to go for the Overlord instead. They get a nice little knockup on the Lu. He's going to use that Magma Slam to kind of just zone them away potentially, but here we go. The nice little win. The whirlwind is on point. They get the pick off on the Senku, and that's going to be a huge opener as 2 members are down. KAGENDRA, they take the Overlord as well.
To be fair, even though KAGENDRA was losing that fight, they was able to get the T2 into the mid lane here, but now this is the time for BLACKLIST to pay back those respects, right? Obviously taking the T1 down into the mid lane, maybe potentially even the T2 top side here as well, but they have the Shadow Overlord, like you said, Hauler. So things are slowly starting to look up here for the side of BLACKLIST International, and maybe the key into these team fights is getting the takedown of Fei-Shi first.
I hope we get to see a highlight of that one, because Feishi's like path of passing had just run out, and then Chammy 1 had that ghost ship, and Feishi's like, oh crap, I'm stuck. I'm on the wrong side of this boat. And so he got caught out there because he was up in front, and just really well played by BLACKLIST. And it's all about those 2 kills. Now they've opened up this game even more. BLACKLIST in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, looking to be ahead with the Benjamins as well, right? Obviously, gold favor is going up for the side of BLACKLIST International. Fei-Shi as well as Soleil looking to rotate top side here just to make sure that Just Chi doesn't quite get that push that he wants here, and maybe even potential takedown, right? I mean, we could potentially see a takedown of a jungler, and then obviously in 20 seconds time you see the Tyrant come online, which could be scary pickup here for either of these 2 teams.
Yeah, but it looks like the Tyrant in the top lane. That's going to create a little bit of space. Chaz finally hitting some towers, was able to do some work on that bottom T3, and now we're entering, dare I say, the late game as the high ground is now open.
And I like the positioning where they've taken this this bot side T3 as well, right? Because obviously it's on the opposite side of the neutral objective, which will be the Tyrant, if they do get to that point, which they have 2 times in the series. So this could definitely pay dividends here for Blacklist, but Sule.
Joshi, all the heroic charge. They've got a lot of control on him. He gets on top of the ledge. And here come the reinforcements with Chamie 1. Nice ghost ship with the path of passing, negating most of that. And now it looks like they've got Dragon there. The damage is real. And they find Fei Shi, and that's going to open things up even more. They actually find yet another. They find Zan out, left in no man's land. And Blacklist International looking to close out this game and this series.
Yeah, with 30 seconds left on Fei Shi as well as Zan here, it's definitely going to be a bit of a brutal blow here to the side of KAGENDRA. It's now Blacklist's attempt to try and go for these T3s.
Oh, Chamie 1 actually tried to flash forward, tried to get somebody caught out now, but here's the crystal. It's getting gone on, and they have the damage, and Blacklist International will move on.
There we go. You get your first Filipino representatives going through into the next part of the knockout stage. And obviously, it wasn't the easiest victory for them, especially after taking such a dominant 3-0. They were looking a little bit in murky waters after that game number 4. Game number 5 wasn't quite as good as we expected, but they were just waiting for the right moment. They were waiting for Fei Shi to be a little bit too confident with those engages.
Just a little, just that one mistake, right? When he got caught out top in the Blacklist jungle there, and then once that happened, they were king, and Blacklist International made them pay. That was just enough to ensure that they got it. KAGENDRA, I mean, props to them for fighting a good fight. They had a great chance, but just too much Blacklist in the end. Congratulations as they move on into the semifinals.
Exactly. They break the code once more, and for the second season invitational, they look to punch that ticket further into the competition. Maybe this time, they actually get to go all the way to the grand finals, but it'll be obviously their opponent waiting for them on the other side of the bracket to see if they will let them get through to that point this time around. But they've done it again, and honestly, KAGENDRA don't get to have the PH Gatekeeper title, unfortunately, in Season 4 Invitational.
Yeah, and it looks like Blacklist International, again, congrats to them. They show why they're SEA's elite here. Despite our early shakiness, Blacklist International showed why they're the SEA's elite against a rejuvenated KAGENDRA, who really did play well, at least in the KIS. I mean, yes, they only took one game off, but this is a team that we've seen largely improve, and I want to see more of them, and we will in the IKL.
Exactly. I mean, the next step, obviously, is for Blacklist. It's going to be the ultimate test, right? It's the team that everybody wants to beat, and the team that's beaten Blacklist already is Nova Esports. So they go through into the semifinals to take on Nova to hopefully try and topple them this time around. Obviously, they didn't face each other in KIC. They faced each other for the first time in Season 4, but that was the group stage. And knockout stage, Blacklist has definitely been better, but can still be even greater.
Yeah, you know Blacklist just won, and they're like, wait, who we play next? Nova? Wait, what? Wait, did we do this right? Like, do we want to do this? Like, oh no, this is bad. But they have them in Nova. Obviously, it's anyone's game, and they have that potential. But Nova Esports, another scary lineup, a scary team that they're forced to play with in the semifinals. But again, congratulations to Blacklist for now. Pats on the back. Let's see how they do moving forward, though.
Exactly. I mean, definitely worth it for the PKL fans. Obviously, we saw in the audience as well, right? They did them proud there. Didn't quite win in the Tri-Nationals clash, unfortunately, for the side of the Philippines. Maybe tomorrow they will win their turn within the Tri-Nationals clash showdown. But Blacklist International do secure themselves into the semifinals. But it was a long drawn 5 games out of a best of 7. Could have easily been that 4th match without having to have that blemish on them. But KAGENDRA wanted it for their pride. But let's look at those post-game analytics here. Sole on this Guan Yu was quite a bit of a driving force, but wasn't quite as deadly as he needed to be. He did obviously die lack of deaths here, but there was just no real kind of like oppression from this Guan Yu.
I mean, they only died 6 times, and you're thinking, oh, wow, we actually lost this game. But Fei Shi, the times that he died twice, it was critical and back-breaking, right? Once Blacklist was able to find him, isolate him, get that ghost ship on with Dragon's blazing brilliance, it was pretty much, you know, burning him to a crisp, and that was a bit of a rough one. So KAGENDRA, if anything, they're going to watch that game and see the mistakes that they made, but they had an opportunity. They were in the lead. That was their game to lose, and unfortunately for them, they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're shy to the amount of damage dealt as well, right? Like, they had more heroes onto the side of KAGENDRA that was doing over the 100k damage dealt than Senko as well as Facia. They were really put in the work here. And you can kind of see that they were just using the Lian Po as well as the Guan Yu to try and just feed everything and funnel everything onto the side of KAGENDRA's 3-man Hydra in terms of the damage here. But over to the side of Blacklist, if you took out Dragon, if you took out Golden Kite, maybe there might have been a different story here.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this gold graph, right? KAGENDRA had their moments. This is a huge, dip. Like, just Blacklist, just finding Feishi in the end, and that's where things just kind of crumbled at that point. But that's how quickly things can turn, right? In the Honor of Kings, like, you just find your moments. You find who the big baddie bully is on that enemy team. You take him out, and this is what happens. You still have that chance.
They still had a chance, but unfortunately, they fluffed it this time around. And this is the brutal thing of a single elimination bracket as well, is the fact that KAGENDRA doesn't have the means of climbing back up from the lower brackets. They have literally said, see you later, we're out of the competition. But before they do leave, obviously, we're looking at the head-to-heads here. Chamiwan got up against, obviously, Soleil here. It was kind of like the prize head-to-head. And honestly, Soleil did actually roll with the punches, but actually brought some flavor as well, especially his Rose Fencer match as well. But then obviously looking at another big star highlight is obviously the Just Chi against Facia head-to-head.
Yeah, Feishi was doing way better, right? Just having a great time on the Augur and thought things were looking to go very rosy and all that. But Just Chi, in the end, was able to kind of get the better of him. Just enough damage, and especially with Dragon as well, who's going to be seen here. Just the ability to do those, to get those kills. There were very few kills in this game, 6 only onto KAGENDRA's side. But Blacklist was able to just take him down 4 times. Like, that's a guy who was understanding who needed to die, and Dragon had a great game here.
Yeah, this is the utility of the score chat, right? Especially if they build either get Orgrin or any other kind of tank here. As soon as that tank's locked in with that first part of that combo, and then you just use your blazing brilliance, it completely melts them down. And then we saw that time and time again. And it's the thing that scares me the most in ranked matches. When I see a score chat locked in, I'm like checking every brush from a very safe distance. That I don't want to get hit by that. But one of the most underwhelming picks, I feel like, towards the first part of the game was definitely the Mecha Brat here. Obviously, it did kind of shine towards the end, especially with that Psycho and that Whirlwind. That last team fight really put the pressure on there. But again, I think it's just Chaz wanting to go on a tank hero, so he can actually get the intel for his team. But MVP is going to be none other than Mr. Dragon here on the score chat.
Yeah, just, I mean, 4-0-1. His ability to find Feishi and burn him down was the main reason why this team was able to win. Overcome that last hurdle, that raid boss to deal with, and he found the right target on the Angela. His Chaos Cinders were on point as well, so he just did just enough, and Dragon, well-deserved MVP here.
Exactly, yeah. 4-0-1, not dropping a single life there, and just absolutely just obliterating, like you said there, Hauler, just popping down that ultimate and make it, well, that ultimate and that combo to make sure that they were able to secure those points. And even the first blood went over the Dragon as well, right? And it was the lockdown of Facia that really kind of like, really should have hoped to get that Tyrant online for Blacklist, but that really showed here that the resilience of KAGENDRA is real. Like, they died prior to that 4-minute mark, but it didn't stop Facia coming back into the fold and just pushing forward and claiming that first neutral objective and just showing them that, hey, you can knock me down once, but I'm going to get back up time and time again.
Yeah, unfortunately for Feishi, he can't get up anymore at this point because the rest of KAGENDRA are eliminated, and you're seeing exactly why in these highlights here. Just enough. The team fight from Blacklist, this is a squad that wants to brawl, and if you're going to bring it, they're going to find those right moments, and they love it. Once they took down Feishi, it's pretty much all she wrote, and they're looking to just run it down the rest of them because they can't really fight. They had all their eggs in the Augurin basket, and they paid with their lives once Feishi got caught out.
Yeah, I'd say if your egg delivery man looks like a soul guide, you may want to just kind of like shake that few eggs out of that one and put it into another, because if you have a team like Blacklist, they are going to run you down with that score chat, but making you into an omelet. But there we go. That is obviously the